How's it hanging, Phil?
Welcome to In Defense Of, making the case for overlooked, forgotten or derided movies in 5 minutes or less. If you haven't got 5 minutes, here's 5 seconds. Today, In Defense Of, Child's Play 2, the 1990 entry in the long-running Killer Doll franchise and my favourite of the lot.
This isn't over, you little shit. I'm not gonna spend the rest of my life as a plastic freak. Next time you're alone, you're mine.
After being completely destroyed at the end of the original Child's Play, murderous doll Chucky is rebuilt and once again inhabited by the soul of serial killer Charles Lee Ray. His intention is the same: transfer his spirit into the body of young Andy Barclay. Struggling with the trauma endured in the first film, Andy has started a new life with foster parents and pseudo-sister Kyle. Unfortunately for him, it doesn't take long for Chucky to find him and for the dead bodies to start piling up again.
I love these things. What's your name, buddy?
Chucky.
Child's Play 2 is one of my favourite films of all time. I have no shame in saying that. I have seen this movie so many times that when I started to get bored of it, I turned down all the colour on my TV, put on the subtitles and set the audio to German to make it seem like I was watching an experimental foreign film.
Wir sind noch nicht fertig, du Scheißkerl. Ich werde nicht den Rest meines Lebens als Plastikkrüppel verbringen.
That has got to rank up there with one of the best horror posters of all time. A single image on a black background that perfectly encapsulates the tone of the movie. Everything you need to know is right here. The trailer is good stuff too. So start the film, what are the first things we see? I don't know if it's just because I've watched this introduction dozens of times, but I love it. It's creepy and it looks like nothing else, and again it sets the tone of the film. Tone is perhaps the thing that makes Child's Play 2 stand out most of all. A killer doll is inherently a silly idea, so filmmakers have to balance the scares with humour. The original is maybe a little too grim for its own good and is unintentionally funny in places, while later entries are maybe skewed too far in the comedic direction. Child's Play 2 nails the balance. Funny.
It's Chucky, look out!
Shut up, you'll wake Phil and Joel.
Kill him!
Andy, stop it.
Scary. Funny. Scary. The production design here is fantastic. Everything has this childlike feel to it. Interiors are blocks of solid colour. The toy factory looks like it was built using Lego. It's not only distinctive, but it also helps us see the world from Andy's point of view. Alex Vincent does an exceptional job as Andy. It's so easy to hate on child actors, they wind me up at the best of times, but I can honestly say that Andy is empathetic and he never even approaches annoying territory. One of the cool things about horror franchises and being a horror fan is that the monster design changes from film to film as different actors, special effects teams and directors take the helm, even though the character is supposed to be consistent. This is my favourite Chucky of all. Chucky is the real star of the show, and just 2 years on from the original, animatronics had come such a long way. He looks incredibly emotive in this one without hitting the uncanny valley of being a bit too expressive, which is what happens in the later sequels as technology got really good. I think something that everyone who watches Child's Play 2 remembers is the showdown in the toy factory. Forget any notion of realism here and just enjoy the design of the factory and how the duel unfolds. The whole sequence is tense and thrilling, with Chucky in the Terminator role as the unstoppable killing machine who won't stop coming. Even Siskel and Ebert both agreed that this is a great sequence.
The closing sequence of Child's Play 2 inside a toy factory is truly horrifying. It's good filmmaking, but it made me feel unclean and disturbed. You have to grant it, it's well made, and that's
only in the last sequence.
That's not even mentioning the greatest character in any movie ever, Crazy Bitch Guy. You have heard of it. Chucky is a cultural icon, and even if you've never seen a Child's Play movie, you know Chucky. The movie might as well be subtitled Chucky Makes Terrible Decisions Again and Again and Again. Hey, I have Andy alone, I can transfer my soul. Oh, I guess I should wake him up first and engage in some time-wasting banter. I'm just gonna smash this other doll loudly and bury it in the one spot in the garden where it risks being uncovered. Andy, take me somewhere or I'll kill you, even though I need you alive. Despite Chucky looking great in this one, occasionally we're obviously looking at the living Chucky when the film wants us to think we're looking at the cute good guy, which removes the tension in some scenes. Like here, we're supposed to be surprised he's alive, but this is clearly not the static, harmless model. Jenny Agutter's accent.
Hansel and Gretel did not reply, but followed their parents into the dark forest, where they all lived happily ever after.
No idea. Someone should have had a word with her about that.
I hate kids.
I'm thinking Labyrinth. If you've shied away from horror because you don't like jump scares or the nasty gore of modern genre releases, I'd thoroughly recommend Child's Play 2. Something like Labyrinth or Gremlins or The Neverending Story is primarily aimed at kids with some disturbing sequences that are all filled with weird puppets. Child's Play 2 is essentially a step up, getting rid of all the kid-friendly stuff and treading to full-blown horror.
Nein, richtiges Blut.
Child's Play 2 was a staple of my teenage years, and it holds up as a seriously fun entry-level horror movie with production design that stands out even today. I feel like I'm going to love this film forever. Killer dolls. They're a tried and tested horror formula, and there are stacks of examples out there, but which ones are any good? Dead of Night is a great British horror film made during World War II. It has a segment with the ventriloquist dummy that is genuinely skin-crawling 70 years on. Trilogy of Terror like Dead of Night is an anthology. It's made for TV and it's pretty meh, except for the killer doll story. It's quite short and it's readily available on YouTube. What would happen if Richard Attenborough directed a killer doll movie and he got Anthony Hopkins to star in it? Magic is what? A weird little movie, but very, very good. The trailer alone freaks me out.
Abracadabra, I sit on his knee.
Tourist Trap, I will get to you one day. Allegedly Stephen King's favourite film. Dolls is an often overlooked gem from the same people that made Reanimator. The Puppet Master franchise peters out after its first 3 entries, but if you want to see puppets fighting Nazis, here you go. There are way more than these, but these are my picks. Just stay away from Triloquist. Jesus Christ, stay away from Triloquist.